Good afternoon. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor and let me know if you can hear me. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Hi, John. This is Susan. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Can you see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay, terrific. I'm going to go ahead and get started now. Thank you. Welcome to DGS and Project Team Construction Management, Owners, Rep, and Third-Party Consultant, Vendors, Processes in Project Team. I'm Susan Mills, and I am with Project Team in the Professional Services Department in Education and Implementation. And today we're going to be talking about the CM processes and the third-party vendors processes in Project Team. Now, if you are a DGS employee and you have that dc.gov email, you want to make sure that you send your request for a user account and project access to dgs.projectteam@dc.gov. If you're a vendor and you have your own, your own company email, make sure that you reach out to your DGS project manager, and they will invite you to the project when it's ready to go, and then they'll grant you project access. Existing users, and that's people once you get your project team account and you have project access. This is when after you've gotten all the account stuff taken care of. If you have questions, you can send an email to support@projectteam.com, or you can go in via your My Page and click View Help Pages, do a search on what you're looking for, email support, and also provide feedback if you like the software, you've got suggestions that would make things easier. We love hearing from our customers. If you're a vendor and you want to use Project Team on other projects along with DGS, reach out to our sales team. It's a fabulous product, and you'll love how easy it works and how fluid. Once you receive an invite, you're going to get an invite via email, and it's going to have our Project Team logo. It won't be a DGS email account, but it will be a Project Team email. And it's going to tell you that you've had a new account created, and you need to complete your setup within 24 hours. If by chance you don't, let's say that you're out of the office for the day and you didn't see the email, I'll show you a way that you can go ahead and reset the token and get a new invitation. But you'll click the Finish Your Account button if you're going to do it within the 24-hour period. It'll bring you to the login screen, and you'll enter your first name and last name and enter your password. Your password requirements are below the password. Click Sign Up, and you're done. Your account's created. Now, let's say that you were not able to complete this invitation. You click the Finish Your Account, and you got this strange error called a, invalid token. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the Project Team login screen, and you're going to click Forgot Your Password. I'll show you how to get to that screen in just a second, just in case you don't have it, on your shortcuts bar. But if you lose your password, or if your invitation expires and you get that invalid token, come to the login screen and click Forgot Your Password. You'll enter your company email address. And it's really important to know that your company email address is what is tied to your account. Your personal email address won't work. So you'll enter the company email address or the dc.gov email address that your invitation was sent to. And then you'll follow the prompts. You'll receive another invitation, and you can go ahead and immediately create your account. You don't have to wait on us to do that for you. So I'm going to show you how to get to that screen just in case you need to access it. Before we get there, I want to show you where you can log in and get information. All the things that I'm going to cover today, I'm going to be pulling from what we call the quick reference guides. So you definitely want to download these, and if you've got a staff of people that is working for your company, make sure they have a copy of these or they have this link. I just shortcut it to my, shortcut bar. That way I can quickly get to it. But if you click the Visit QRG page, you'll see that there are a ton of quick reference guides. And these are broken down by, like, you've got construction manager, owner's rep, third party consultant. These are the ones that are applicable to you. You also have contracts and things like that. Then these are the general use. So there are a lot of quick reference guides, detailed step-by-step guides that'll walk you through the same processes. They include the SOP information. So that's the DGS standard operating procedures. John Harmon worked really hard to give us all that information to make these documents not only a step-by-step guide, but also to tell you what DGS expects at each step of the way, what fields they want you to fill in, how they want you to title certain documents. And the reason that they're setting their processes up with this software is because they are going to be creating some really massive reports and dashboards, and they want to make sure that the data is reflected accurately. You also have training videos. We are uploading every day. This one will be uploaded at the end of the day as well, or by Tuesday morning they will be here for you guys. So if you have a new person start your company and you need to get them into ProjectTeam and you want to get them set up to go, have them start here. This will tell them how to get their new user account, how to update their My Page, how to find their action items and workflows, how to navigate the project, and how to set up an email, set up a project in their email client to forward emails. And then on the bottom, these are broken down by the role. So, you've got your, we did a full project team introduction one that we do every week. We also have client agency, AE, the CCSD team, and then vendor contracts, modifications, and pay applications. Now, this is going to be really important for you. If you haven't taken this class, this one tells everybody how to access the contracts, the contract modifications, how to submit a potential change order, and how to submit a payment application. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go backwards, and then you can sign up, as you know, for additional classes by clicking the calendar page. The intended audience is here, and any class notes that are applicable are listed here, and you just click the register button and select the dates you'd like to attend. Now, when you come to ProjectTeam, let's say ProjectTeam is browser agnostic, so you can use any browser that you want, and it can also be used on desktop, laptop, tablet of any type, and cell phone, your smartphone. How you access it on your tablet and your smartphone is you open up your browser and you put in ProjectTeam. Then you'll enter your login credentials, and it takes the whole system and puts it into like the phone format or the tablet format. It works exactly the same on your tablet, and you can see everything very clearly. It's really a nice thing. So the first time, let's say that you need to go back and you need to reset that token, just put in projectteam.com and click login. It's going to bring you to, let me log out right quick. It's going to bring you to the login screen. And this is where you'll click that forgot your password, okay? When you click that, you'll put in your email address and it'll send you a brand new invitation. First time you log in, you'll put in the email address that was sent to you, your company email address and the password that you used to create your account. Click login. It will bring you to the My Page area. This is where you can see all the action items that you have. As you can see, I have an action item, but it's not broken down into any of the time breakdowns. So if I click on overdue, it'll tell me that this is one that's due farther out. I have a QRG for introduction that needs to be done, and it's assigned to our internal training project. If I've completed this item, I can click the drop down and mark it as complete. If not, I can open it, go in, do what I need to do, and then mark it complete from within the action item. And if I need to have a comment, if I need to have a running commentary with somebody that assigned it to me, I can do that as well. They'll be notified. Like if I'm, where do I need to put this information, et cetera, I can do that as well. I'm going to go back to My Page by clicking my name and selecting My Page. Same thing for workflows. If you have a workflow assigned to you, they'll be listed in this box. Workflows and action items can be found at the very top of the screen as well. I have 5 workflow items, but none of them are due this week, and I don't have anything overdue. So I'm going to open it up, and I can see that I have multiple workflows that are due, later on, right? So I can go ahead and take care of those. I don't have to wait until the due date. If they've been workflowed to me, I can go ahead and take care of them. So if I do have a workflow assigned to me, what I do is I click the title of the document. I go in, I review all the activity and comments to see if there's something that they need me to do before I do it. I'm going to review the QRGs to make sure I'm following all the steps and review the information, as well as any attachments on the bottom. Once I've completed everything and the document is ready to either pass, which is accept, or cancel, which is fail, I'll click Take Action, and I'll mark the appropriate action. If I'm canceling, they definitely want to know why I'm canceling within the note section. So I'll cancel and I'll take action. When I do that, it's going to remove it from my workflows, but I can also scroll down and look at the workflow. So I can see that it was canceled and it was missing documentation. I'm going to go back to my page. A couple of things I want to go ahead and let you know. We've had a couple of people join. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask questions at any time. There's a question box that'll open up. You can click the question and submit your questions, and I'll be happy to answer as we're going along. We always ask everybody to edit their profile, and this is very helpful for you and your teams because everybody can add a picture of themselves. It makes it a lot more personal. People know who they're talking to. You've got add signature in case you want your signature used on merge templates and reports. You can add your signature, and that if you need help on that, there's a great place that'll take you to explain how to get your signature. You can actually sign it, take a picture with your iPhone, and then upload it. And it needs to be a JPEG. Make sure that you and your teams update your information. Leave your work email address as is. That's your unique identifier to log in. If you change that, you won't be able to log in. We'll have to go back in the background and change it for you. So make sure you leave that at it as is. If you switch jobs and you're still doing work for DGS, let's say you move to another, CM firm, work with DGS to get that changed. You'll work the email that I showed you earlier. You can go ahead and submit an email and they'll work with you to fix that. But adding in job title and work phone number and everything is a great thing to do. So that way everybody knows how to contact you. One of the first things you're going to want to do when you get added to your project is you want to go in and update your email notifications. To do that, you'll click the 3 ellipses button. Scroll down to find your project. This is project specific. So every project that you have access to, you're going to need to do this. Click the name of the project and click the edit button. By default, the action items and workflows are automatically selected. You want to keep those selected because you want to be notified via email if an action item or a workflow is assigned to you. You also want to do new shares. That means somebody has shared the document with you. They want you to look at the document, or you may need to take action. So having access to the document is really important. Comments made is another item that you want to select. DGS they want to use the comment section to make the documents collaborative. So that way discussions on documents don't have to take place in email. You can actually, make comments on an actual document. So that allows it to be more collaborative. Everything becomes a permanent record on a document, and it just works so much easier, and you guys aren't having to search for information. After you've gone in, you've updated these, just click the Save button and go on down to the next project and do the same. And once you're finished, you go ahead and scroll down and click Close. Your recent activity is here. Right now, I have it on all projects, so I can see all the activity that's taken place in my projects, documents that have been shared with me by other people. I can see Wayne in the ProjectTeam portal edited a meeting minute, and he did that today at 12:47. If I wanted to open the document, I can click right here, and it's a really quick step, just takes me right to the document. If I want to open the project, I can click here as well. If I want to filter by project, I can just filter and just look at that particular project. Now, I can click here to open my CPO training project, or I can click up here and I can open my project from the drop-down list. If I have, as you guys are going along and they're adding a bunch of projects to you, your project list here will grow. Well, projects will get closed out and you'll be moved off that project. And you probably don't want to see projects that you're not working on your drop-down list. So to change that, just click View All Projects and click the 3 ellipsis button, Configure Menu, and just go in and uncheck any projects that you don't want to see and check the ones that you do want to see. So it allows you to just manage that list and make it a lot easier to find information. But if you do have a long list, you can just use the search box and find the project. I'm going to click CPO Training, and it's going to bring me to my home page. Now, this is my project home page. I know which project I'm in because I can see it up here. My favorite form types are right here. To add items or remove them from my favorite form types, I can click Edit, and I can just go in and uncheck the items I don't want to see, check the items I do. I love this system because it's very fluid that way. Everything is real consistent. So if I want to add documents, I can go ahead and check the boxes and click Save. And now I can see those forms on my list. To open a form, I'd simply click the box for that particular form and open up what we call the log or the register view. Underneath, I have my recently created forms. I can see my access is shared. This is the subject of the form, and this is the form type. It was created on 5/21/20 at 2:57, and it's only shared with me. Typically, if it says one person, it's always just you that's seen it. One thing that you really need to remember is you've got to share documentation, just like emails. I mean, I can write an email and I can save it in my drafts and nobody ever sees it. I do that quite often, to be honest. I've got to send it. I've got to pick people to send it to, and then I've got to send it in order for people to receive it. Same thing within the system. You want to make sure that you share the documents so that way other people can access them. If you're in a meeting and somebody starts talking about an RFI and you don't have it on your register view, that means they didn't share it with you. Just ask them to. You can create an action item, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second, and ask them to send that RFI to you. If I want to open a document I've been working on, and these are the documents, most recent documents I worked on, I can click Edit, and it opens the document in edit mode. I can make my changes and then just click Save. Before I go any further, I want to show you what the panels look like on all the documents, and we'll talk about how these panels work. Right now, I have a buyout record. The only person that has access to it is myself. To share it, I click Share, and I can choose one of the share groups. The share groups used by DGS are very descriptive, so you'll know exactly who they are, right? Just go ahead and choose the share group, or if you don't want to choose the share group and you want to select a couple of individuals, you can go ahead and just choose individuals from on the bottom. You can search for their name, and just go ahead and click the checkbox and click Share. Now, sharing with a group, we'll share it with all the people that are in the group, and I can come back to this document and hover over it to see if anybody's ever viewed it. So that's a good thing. That keeps this way you know if somebody's looked at it or when they looked at it, because it'll also tell me, as you can see, the last time I looked at it was 5/22 at 2:17. Action items. If I want to assign an action item to a document, I have to assign it. It has to be in a project, but I can assign it within the document. So if I wanted to assign something, I would click New. I'm going to assign this to John Bunch. I could also assign it to myself if I wanted to keep up with it that way, but I'll show you how you can also keep up with it. And then I'm going to go ahead and give John a due date. I can also put some notes in here. I can save and share this with the entire project team, or if I just want John and I to see it, I can save and share. So The only people that have access to that action item will see it. Let's go into the register up here because I want to show you this right quick. So if I drop down and click View All Action Items, let's say that we're in that meeting and somebody is talking about a document I've never seen. I can click New. I can go ahead and select the project, click Next. I don't have to associate it with a form, with, a document I already have in the system. Let's say it's for that RFI I haven't seen. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to go ahead and select John again. I'm going to put a due date of today, and I'll say, please share RFI 49 with me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and save and share. And if I need to save it with my project team, I can go ahead and select my project team. Excuse me. Any questions so far? If you guys have any questions, make sure to hit the question box, and I'll be happy to stop and answer anything you've got. Okay, so these are the action items assigned to me. And then I have the action items assigned by me. If I want to go in here and look for RFI 49 and just type RFI, and I can see RFI 49 is in here. If it's overdue, it's red, right? I can see it was assigned to John in any notes, and that way I can keep up with it. All action items shows me all the action items assigned to me, by me, and shared with me. So if somebody has let me know, like let's say your boss says, hey, I need you to reach out to so-and-so and ask for them to upload the schedule. Well, he's asked you to do that. You're going to add him to the to-do list so that way he can see that it's done. He can monitor the progress. Okay, I'm going to go back into my project. We're going to talk about emails for just a second. Within ProjectTeam, each project has its own email address. Every project is different. So I just like to highlight this, and I'll do Control-C, or a right click and a select copy. Then I go into my email. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and open up my toolbox. I'll do my people, and I'm going to add this project as a contact. I do this very first thing because it makes life so much easier. I'll click New Contact. I'm going to give it the name of whatever the project title is. I like to change the file as to the project name, so it makes it a little bit more readable. I paste the email address, and then I go in and remove the email address from the display because I want it just to display as the project name. Then I click Save. So now I have my project as a contact in my email. And where this works really good is if I need to forward, let's say I've got an email string going on with a contractor within the project, right? And I want to make sure that I add this email string to ProjectTeam, to my project, so that way I don't want to have to copy and paste it. I just go in here on my to, and I type the name of the project, and I go ahead and click Send. Now, what's going to happen is in a few minutes, that email will show up in this email box. As with any other document within ProjectTeam, unless I share it, it's going to come in. It's always going to come in with just me as the shared person, right? So I have to share it. I do suggest that you at least share it with the project manager or, somebody on the team, because once you move off the project, nobody's going to have access to that email except for you. So if it's something that's very important, you want to make sure that the team gets access. And to do that, you'll just go ahead and click the email and share. And like I showed you earlier, and share it with, whichever group that you want to have access. Now, where this comes in really handy is, let's say that you were discussing an RFI with a vendor, and you want to go ahead and link this email to that RFI. I'm going to click in the reference links. I'm going to click Add Existing. I'll go in here and look for RFIs, and I'll click Add. So I'm linking to a document, another document in the system. And what this does is it goes ahead, and I just linked it to another email, but it creates a link to the other document. Now, only the people that have access to the email and the RFI are going to see the reference links. If they don't have access to the document, they don't see it. Okay, we've done meeting minutes, emails. Let's talk about field reports. So if we go into field reports, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the panels as well when we get in. With field reports, they're usually generated by the general contractor to document daily work progress and conditions on the site. But this form can be used by other parties to document pertinent information from field or site visits. I'm going to show you today, within every document within ProjectTeam, very easy. Every document has its own register or log view. These show all the records that you've created for this particular form and all the records for the field reports that have been shared with you. If you want to open one, you simply click the link. Now, we talked about the shared and we talked about the action items. Now let's talk about activity. Activity is the one that I told you that DGS wants to use to be collaborative. This is where people can add comments to things. You can have a collaborative discussion on the document. So let's say you can ask, okay, so I can post this, and the writer or whoever is responding can come in here and let us know, yes, it delayed the start by 2 hours. So you can have this great discussion going on here, right? And that way, everybody that's got access to this document can see this information. You want to see the activity of the document, you can click activity and you can see all the way down from, what's happened on this document. We talked about reference links. That's linking to another document. So that way people can get real quick access to documents that are pertinent to the record. Underneath is attachments. DGS has really asked us to train you guys for everybody to upload supporting documentation. Instead of leaving it, we all run into this. Somebody has everything on an H drive or a G drive, and if they're not there and you don't have access to the supporting documentation, it kind of just slows the progress of the project. So we're asking everybody to upload attachments that are pertinent to the form. That way everybody has access to it that needs to have access to it. Drag and drop, or you can upload from your desktop by clicking Upload New. You can also drag and drop multiple files, or you can upload from files. And this is the file storage over here. This is a project file structure that, anything that the PM says that you can put here, you definitely can upload this, but you can also go to Form Attachments. And in the event that, you've already uploaded an attachment, let's say I know that I uploaded this flange chart on an RFI, and I want to be able to put it in here as well. So I'm going to open my request for information, and I can see all my RFIs that I've created here. I'll click the flange size for boiler 12, and I see that I've got a flange chart. I'm going to go ahead and select version 1, and I'll scroll down and I'll do Add Attachment. So I've gone ahead. I don't have to go back to my desktop and search for it. It's there. If you have a workflow to do on a document, this particular document does not have a workflow, but if you have one and it's outlined in your QRG, workflows are here, or if you have a workflow assigned to you, it's been sent to you, you'll also be able to take action at the top. Okay. So let's talk about field reports. If you want to do a new one, let me show you how to do that. You'll click New, and you'll fill in the applicable fields. We've taught the GCs how to go in and fill out all this information. If you want to use it for another type of item, You're going to select your role and then fill in the fields that are pertinent to your report. Anytime you see a grid here and a Create New button, you just click that Create New and it'll open a modal window with additional fields you can fill out. Fields are either, here you've got the up and down. Me, I just go ahead and type it in. I think it's a whole lot easier to type it in. Under site conditions, these are lookup lists. You can't add anything unless it applies to that list. If you need to have something added, you're going to let DGS know, John Harmon's team, and they'll make sure they're the admins. They'll take care of that for you. Once you get done adding, you'll just click Add, and it will populate here. Okay? So there's quite a bit of information here. Once you save it, again, it'll come right back to this form, and you can do your uploads and have your commentary. Okay, let's take a look at inspections. Okay, so inspections are going to capture results, comments, and information from any inspection which occurs on the job site. These documents are entered by the party which performs the inspection or the vendor responsible for having the inspection performed. If you guys are basically monitoring this, you can click the subject title. It's a hyperlink. It will bring you into the document. You can see all the information that is here as well as the attachments. If you are responsible for creating one, you'll click the New button and you'll fill in the appropriate fields. Anywhere there's a red field, that means it is required. But DGS in their QRGs, it tells you exactly what is required, within the QRG. So they do want all these fields populated. And then you'll just click Save and Share when it's done. I'm just going to create one, just put a title in here at the top so you can see that. Save and share. You're going to choose your share group and go ahead and click Share. Okay. To get back to your register view, just click the blue link at the top. Now, one thing about people call them logs, I call them register views. They're just a list of all the documentation. To see the different fields, you might want to see something different than what I want to see. So you can click the three ellipses button and select Configure Log. And you check and uncheck the fields that you want to see. Okay? So I may not want to see reinspection, so I might want to remove that one. But I can see the information here. Now you can see there's a lot of gaping information missing because I just use those as training. But having this information in these fields is great. And if you want to print your log, you just click Print, and it takes you right into an HTML report. And it shows all the columns that you selected on your log. You can print it to PDF. You can also, print it to a Google Drive. And if you want to close the window, you just select Close Window. Right, let's take a look at material test. So if I go to Forms and Material Testing, it's great. I can always go back to my home page, and if I've got these items on, my form type, that's great. But a lot of times when I'm working in a form and I need to go to another one, I just click the forms and do a search. Makes it super quick. And then I'll find the form type that I want and click the title. So this particular form is used by the vendors responsible for material testing on a project. And this may be the general contractor or a third party depending on the project. Each material test should be recorded by the responsible party by creating a new material test record. Material tests should be recorded the day they occur, and copies of any test documents or results should be added to the completed record at the time of creation or added to the existing record as soon as test results are available if the test does not produce immediate results. This is your register. You can see there's very little information here. Again, I can configure this log, and I can put a whole lot more information on this register view and click Save. And as you can see, I have a lot of information here. You're going to want to give it if you're creating a test, click the New button and give it a descriptive name, right? You want to make sure it's descriptive, not just material test. You'll enter the sample date and the sampling time. Select a testing company and the product being tested and the type of test. You'll type that in. To add a specification, click Add Existing and choose the specs that apply to the material test. Just by checking the boxes, you can do multiples and click Add. You'll enter any applicable notes. If the test result can be added to the information now, you can go ahead and select that. If not, you'll come up to the top. You'll click Save and Share, because you want to make sure everybody knows this test is going on. And then you can come back at a later time by clicking the line item, clicking Edit, and you'll come back in and you'll add the test result, a testing narrative. You want to make sure to add any contract documentation, compliance observations, and the report date. If you can add it all on the date the test is taken, that's great. But one thing about it is you want to make sure that you update the information, right? And attach any supporting documentation. Any questions about, material test, inspections, field reports, or meeting minutes? Okay. Let me show you how to find drawings and drawing packages. Go to Forms, select Drawings, and within Drawings, you have Drawings and Drawing Packages. This is the drawing log. They're broken down by discipline. If a discipline is not defined, they will show up in the No Discipline Defined portion. Anywhere I see an M, it has a markup. I can open the document by clicking the document title. I can see all the people it's shared with. It opens it up so I can see a quick view of the drawing. Now, this is really helpful if you're on the project and you've got your tablet and you're walking through. Let's say you want to do a markup on it. You can click full screen markup and it opens up our markup utility. Click the slide and turn markups on. You've got several measurement tools here. This is a distance, this is a perimeter, and this one is an area. You can link it to a document in the system. Let's say I want to go ahead and link it to the material test. I'll click Add, and it's now there. I can see everything I'm doing by clicking the panel over here on the left. I have freehand tools, I have text tools and highlighter tools, I have shape tools, I've got free text that I can just go ahead, if I wanted to write something here, I could go ahead and do a box and I can type the information. I have comments that I can make. I can also come over here and do call outs. I can search. I can click the menu. I can go full screen. I can download it or I can print it. Now let's say I wanted to come over here and see only the comments by John Harmon. I'd start typing John's name and I can see any of the comments that he's made. I can pan and zoom. I can also fit to width, do marquee zoom, etc. When I'm ready, I can just go ahead and click close. And I'm back to the drawing. To see the metadata on the drawing, all the information is on the details section. Again, I've got action items, activities, shows me any package that it's linked to, as well as any reference links, attachments, etc. There is no workflow on drawings, so you definitely want to utilize your action items there. I can also see the thumbprints. So this is my log view and it gives me the data list, right? If I want to look at the thumbprints, I'll click the little thumbprint and it shows me the pictures. Makes it super simple. Packages, I'll click the link on packages. Packages are super easy to make. I just click new package and I go ahead. Okay, so I'm sorry, I had a headset issue there. Hold on one second, I'm having a problem with my headset. My apologies. Sometimes, equipment will give out on you occasionally. Okay, so to create a package, I'm going to give this a package title. I can put notes. I'll add existing, and I'll select any of the items, any of the drawings that I need to put in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a few, and I'll click Add. Then I'll save and share. Choose the team, the applicable parties, and click Share. Comments can be made here. That way everybody knows what's going on with the document. Any questions? Okay, so let's talk about RFIs. Request for information. And so request for information, this is your RFI log. Then you can change the configuration for the log and show just the fields you want to see. If you want to create a new one, you click New. And if you are going to create a new one, I'm going to take you through the workflow. So let's say I need to create a new one. I'm going to click the Get Next. Anywhere I see a Get Next on a number, I want to click the button because it's going to put the next number in the sequence. I'm going to choose the name of my company. If I have a specific RFI numbering system for my company, I can put that here. I'll click inside the date field and select the due date, and then I'm going to give it a description, right? Okay, I can do my discipline. I can assign any drawings that are there. Specifications, if it's an impact, it could be an impact depending on the type of gate. So I could go ahead and select my name. If I think it's going to have a cost impact, I can put in the dollar amount of the cost impact and the schedule amount if there's a drawing impact. And if I have a suggested response, I can put that in there, right? If there's something in the specs that tell me if I can replace this with this, then I can put that in there. I'm going to save and share with the applicable parties. Now, one thing about workflows is in order to get a workflow responded to, I need to go ahead and workflow it to the correct party. Workflows are along the bottom here. I'm going to click Start New, and I have the option of requesting information from the architect or the PM. Pick the applicable one, and it's going to notify that person that they have a workflow to take care of. They'll come in. You can look at the workflow by clicking the bar, the arrow, and you can see that it started and pending and who it's going to. And they'll come back in. They're going to, if they have questions about it, if they, your question's unclear, they have question clarifications, or if they respond to you and the answer is unclear, before you close it, have a dialogue with them in the activity. You can ask them, your answer doesn't really give me as much information. Can you, upload the specifications that you're talking about, or, a sample document. Utilize the activity because and the action items. That's really going to keep things moving in the, in the direction they need to go. Okay, we have punch list items. And if I go ahead and begin typing punch list, I can select punch list items. Punch list records are going to appear in the punch list log. To create a new one, you can click New, and this is a great thing you can do on this site as you're walking through. You can check them off as they're being done as well. So you have a date, a subject, the identified company, it's a drop down, or you can type that in there. You've got the date identified. The description, you're going to select type in the building area, the floor, the room number, surface, etc. Who the subcontractor is that's doing the work, your scheduled completion, any notes. Then you'll save it. You'll come back in when you're finished. When it's finished and you're ready to check it off, you'll come back in and click Edit. and you're going to mark the status as completed, date completed, sign off date, and then who signs off on the work. Also, upload pictures. Make sure to utilize the attachment section to upload pictures of what you're asking, the issues that you're finding. No workflows on punch list items. Okay, and then we have one last thing that I'm going to go over real quick is how to find contracts and change orders and basic change directives. I'm just going to show you how to find those and how to search for the ones that you have access to. When you click Forms, you can select Contracts. This opens up the contract register. You'll only see the ones that are assigned to you or that you've created, but the only people that will be creating contracts will be the DGS PM. Contracts are going to be entered. They'll still go through the procurement process. And let me go ahead and read this to you and make sure I give you everything that you need to know. Contracts are issued by Contracts and Procurement. The contracts will be sent to the project manager who will record this information in ProjectTeam. Contracts have to be entered in ProjectTeam in order to maintain the record and control finances and for change management. Contractors, subcontractors, or anybody that is going to be that has to submit a change order, right? They have to submit it via a potential change order, and it's got to go in the system. In order to do that, or in order to submit a pencil copy of the payment application, they have to have an approved contract in the system. So if your subs come to you and say, I can't submit something, we've advised them to go to the project manager, or I guess they're going to come to you. You have to go to the DGS project manager to make sure the approved contract is in the system. They'll come in and they'll put the contract in. You just click the contract title and you review all of the tabs and the information. The signed contract documentation will be attached for you to review and download as well. Change orders can be found. These are approved change orders that come from the POs that are submitted. So a purchase order has to be submitted to the DGS PM via ProjectTeam, and then it goes through the process with Contracts and Procurement. But it has to be submitted through ProjectTeam before it ever will become an approved change order. Approved change orders will be entered into ProjectTeam by the DGS PM. You can open up your change orders and you can look at these here. All the information plus the uploads will be here, and you can click on the change detail to see the information. You know the PCO has been entered because it comes from the source type PCO. Okay. Then we have BCDs can be found under Forms, and that's going to be Basic Change Directives. And Basic Change Directives is used to capture basic change directives issued by Contracts and Procurements, and this again is created by the project manager or assistant project manager in a DGS internal form and reviewed by vendors and project staff. It is initiated and performed outside of ProjectTeam and is managed through the procurement system. And the information will be captured in ProjectTeam after it's complete. So all you have to do is to review one is you just click on the link and you can review the information as well as the supporting documentation. In this one, we've assigned an associated PCO. So if you wanted to look at that PCO, you could click the link here. Again, they have to be shared with you for you to see them. If you want to look at potential change orders, just go in and start typing potential change order. Excuse me. Click and open the register and then open the PCO. There's 2 tabs on PCOs, and you can scroll down and you can see the cost breakdown. That is pretty much it for today's session. I know that we went over quite a bit. Don't forget, you want to make sure that you go to DGS, go to projectteam.com/DGS. Download the QRGs that we went over because they're really going to help you be very successful in, working on your documentation in ProjectTeam and making sure to follow the DGS guidelines. Okay, we've talked about if you want to sign up on our social media, to hear anything new about the new features that are coming out, or learn about any, because we're always hosting webinars and lunch and learns. You know, you'll hear a lot about that on our social media pages, and you're more than welcome to join up. And we really are happy that we've added you guys to our project team family. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to unmute you guys for just a second to see if you have any questions, or, you know, if you have anything you want to add before I go ahead and close this out. So does anybody have anything they want to add, or did I answer all your questions today? Well, okay. Well, thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to working with you all. Have a great weekend, great long weekend. Thank you.